So I'm out here end of November, almost Thanksgiving time, and we're digging a bunch of these chestnuts and hazelnuts, and just wanted to show the process of how we're doing it. So got this tree spade, and first step is get underneath the root system, pop them up a little bit, I shake most of the dirt off, and in these nice beds, they pretty much come right out after that. That's mostly because of how fluffy the beds are. And then you can see all the rhizomorphs of the mycelium on there. That is a really healthy, fungally, dense, inoculated bed. That's because all the wood chips and because there's been tree crops here for 2 years. And so then they go right into a bucket of water. Try to shake off most of the water. It's a little bit of a fine balance between, we don't want to get all the mycelium off there, but we don't want to export our topsoil either. So they're pretty clean after that. And also, of course, topsoil can have all kinds of jumping worms or whatever other kind of stuff. So we get most of it off, clean it up, and make sure there's no worms on them. These are really nice big trees. That's about as good as chestnut as I can grow in one season. So we're also doing this on a nice day for digging. It's overcast, it's not hot, so we're not really losing a lot of water out of the root system right away, which can dry them out really quickly. You know, I don't want to have the roots in the sun drying out for almost any amount of time. So chestnuts, as you can see, have a pretty intense root system, so these are pretty large. But what I'll do for now is, we've got a little bit of wood chip just to pack the roots. And then I pretty much roll this up like a burrito. These are old tree bags. We go around and collect tree bags, or leaf bags, sorry, from people who are cleaning up their lawns. And now we've got a perfect burrito. And then this is old baling twine from hay bales that we buy. Wrap it up like that. And if you grow a bunch of trees in a nursery bed and you want to plant them out the next year, one of the problems is rodents. Well, rodents, rabbits, deer, anything like that can really cause a lot of problems, especially this time of year. They're looking for places to live and food sources to sustain themselves for the winter. So it can be a problem. And storing them in a cool but not super freezing place over the winter is a way to pretty much avoid that problem entirely. So out of a bed like this, we could leave them all in the ground and lose half or all of them if the pressure is really bad, or we can dig them up, put them in these bags, and keep them in a cooler all winter. So I have sort of a root cellar that we cool in the summer for vegetables, and in the winter it stays just above freezing. So it's sort of perfect for them to just chill out for the rest of the winter there. And I do a couple times a year, I'll water into this to make sure that the roots don't dry out. And you want the bottom to be able to drain. This will sort of drain a little bit. If you were to put them in a plastic bag and keep them completely in a bag that doesn't drain, that could cause problems for the root systems. You don't want them to dry out, but you don't want them to be saturated all winter either. So anyway, that's how we dig and store the trees so that they're safe from animals over the winter. For those of you who are interested in the fungal aspect of things, this here is the fruiting body of the ectomycorrhizal associates of these chestnuts. It's called scleroderma. And there's an interesting tidbit when it comes to ectomycorrhizal. There's a bunch of different kinds of mycorrhizal associations, and ecto means that the fungal mycelia don't enter into the actual root tissue of the plant. They're on the outside, and they form this thing called a Harding net, which is where the nutrients are exchanged. And all the plants that I know of in the Fagaceae are ectomycorrhizal. As well, most of the plants in the Pinus, Pinaceae family are also that. And anytime you're in a forest where the leaves are super crunchy, you're probably in an ectomycorrhizal dominant forest, because the ectomycorrhizal associated plants take a lot more nutrients out of the leaves before they fall. So when these leaves fall, they're very hard to digest, and so they tend to get crunchy and not turn into liquid carbon, as they say. So trees which are arbuscular mycorrhizal associates often have much more palatable, high nutrient density leaves even when they shed them. And so those forest floors tend to be softer and fluffier. So if it's quiet when you walk through the leaf duff, it's probably arbuscular, and if it's crunchy, it's probably ecto. One other thing I wanted to share is that this is a very intense disturbance on the soil. As you can see, the spade's pretty deep, and we're digging really deeply, and it's overturning this beautiful soil. It makes me really sad to do that. It's really become very nice, soft soil, beautiful structure. And we're exposing it, and I don't want to expose it and leave it exposed for winter. So what I'm going to do now, after I'm done digging, is I'll take a leaf bag. These things have so many uses. We've got the packing material, the mulch, everything about it is so good. And so we're going to use the leaves to then mulch the rest of the soil. Sometimes you find some weird stuff in here. Most of the time it's pretty innocuous. There's a little piece of plastic there, I'll grab that. But as we head into cold nights, when we're digging nursery plants, we like to recover the soil right afterwards. So I don't want to lose the scleroderma. I don't want to disturb the fungal hyphae in there so much that they can't survive. So we'll cover them up and insulate them for the winter. Kind of funny, I put this leaf bag out and go to spread it, and it was super spiky, and I was like, what the hell? And apparently I randomly collected a leaf bag from someone's yard who had chestnuts in it, and chestnuts and maple leaves are going on as mulch for the old chestnut bed. Kind of funny how things like that work out.